What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Reviews Corp podcast, episode 18. I am your host, Red Devilos Reviews, and I'm back here again with my good co host, Unity Review and Analysis. What's up, Unity?
It's just another day in my college, and then I just gotta do my podcast, which is fun.
Um, yeah, but before we get started, just a quick reminder: we do have another channel, another Reviews Corp podcast, where we archive these videos uh later down the line. We didn't get to do it on Monday. I wasn't really feeling well, and plus, the topic of this pod is not very appealing. So you know what are we talking about today?
Oh, we're just talking about this really great movie called Megamind 2, which actually, do you know that this is dropped during Dune 2, so no one actually talks about it.
Yeah, it came out like right when the hype for Kung Fu hype, quote unquote, with Kung Fu Panda 4. So yeah,
Also,
DreamWorks did not give a shit about this
and also Dune 2, exactly the same day. It was like, wow.
on the day of doing. Yeah, yeah. So I guess Uh we've seen the trailers. We've seen the memes of people bringing back Megamind, cuz like it got quite a popularity post especially like recently with the no bitches. My death was greatly exaggerated. Um take everything terrifying and evil and multiply it by 6. I mean, there's some great memes from the first movie. And we'll talk about the first movie here and there. I see you're reviewing the movie with the blue guy from Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So I guess so as we mentioned, Megamind 1 came out in 2010. Do you remember Megamind Unity?
Yep. And that is that has a competition with Despicable Me. And that is also what's happening this time. And
Yeah.
yep, I mean the first movie is great, by the way. From
Oh
what I
yeah.
remember, I didn't really watch it, so
I did rewatch it. It definitely has like it's one of those kids movies where like it appeals like really well with the adults and the kids as well. Um, you have like such a you have like a character like Megamind who is kind of like raised to kind of feel like being a villain is a good thing for someone like him. I mean, obviously, like there's like some things here and there, in terms of like how like he he's taught to do bad, and then like he's always treated like every time he's like picked on at school for doing bad things from Metro Man is like always the good one, and it's like he embraces that supervillain thing, and then his only friend was Chum, no, actually Minion, but we'll get to that, and then obviously like afterwards he gets like his own relationship, um, especially like he gets to a point like after his success with Metro Man eventually he gets kind of what everything he wants, but he also doesn't want it, and then that kind of stuff. So we'll get more into that. But yeah, that it's a really great movie that kind of takes, and then like obviously, I mean, was Despicable Me like around the same time?
yeah, it's the same year.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that two studios did a similar premise of a supervillain becoming a superhero. Um, it could be a coincidence.
I mean, it happens again this year.
Yeah, Despicable Me 4. How is it that a movie is several steps down from the first, despite having the same writers as the first? That is exactly what we're going to talk about. Um, Unity. If you were to summarize the second movie, how would you summarize it?
Wow, take everything great from the first movie, and then you gave it to a bunch of writing teams who are exactly the same writer, just like yeah, here's a bunch of money, just write whatever the fuck you want. We won't care. and they just write this, and just like, do you guys remember what you wrote in the first movie? It's like, no.
It's like, for example, so yes, the animation is really terrible. And you can see it through. There's like a lot of in-depth videos on like how shit the animation is of the movies. So I'd highly recommend those if you have the time. Um, but yeah, obviously, like this isn't by DreamWorks itself. It's from their animation company, DreamWorks Animation, for like their TV shows and stuff. So like they had stuff like Penguins of Madagascar or Kung Fu Panda. But the thing about those kinds of shows is like they weren't canon to the movies, and they clearly state that for the audience to know that it's not for that they're not canon to, like, the Madagascar movies or the Penguin of Madagascar movie or the Kung Fu Panda movies. So it's like, and honestly, like even those shows were like okay. They're not like they're not bad, but like they're not like great either. They're like okay. But like with this, it's like, so the idea is like the selling point is that it is the sequel, the true sequel to the first movie. So Megamind has already had a disdain for, like, dude, Megamind was pretty good. People have been wanting a sequel since 2010. And then this is what they do, especially after the hype, like, from Puss in Boots 2. I know they had a few other films after that, but it's like Puss in Boots 2 is quite an accomplishment, man. And we talked about it before on this channel.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then this is kind of like it goes to a streaming service, Peacock. And then it also it's supposed to be like your introductory episode to the show, Megamind Rules, where Megamind is like worrying about his social media status and dealing with the Doom Syndicate, which, yeah. How does it feel to have lived long enough to see your favorite franchises go down in flames?
Feels great.
Oh yeah.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah.
Yep. What this you taught me, even if they get the same writers from an original project, it doesn't mean that it will be good. I mean, we've seen it with Percy Jackson, which is like Rick Rodius or something, and that guy made the show even worse than the movie. Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, God.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch a musical version just before we reveal that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't a complicated plot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do want you to, I don't, if you could find the transcript for the opening, especially because like it starts off with like the DreamWorks animation logo, then it's like, forget that. Here, let me summarize the first movie for you guys. Breaking the fourth and there are a few notes that I want to say about that in particular, if you can find that. But yeah. So yeah, this is just for a general take. So this is set 2 days after the first movie. So it's not like a few years later, 10 years later. No, it's set 2 days after the first movie. So that means any kind of arc that has been done is like immediate, like somewhat like immediately after the ending of that movie. So it's like, and there's a lot of instances where Megamind just lost all that development, like as if he never had the development before. So,
remember, and also one day after the Button of Doom, the 10-minute short film take place right after the first movie.
Yeah. And that's like, it's not like great, but it's like, it's okay.
I mean, Megamind is in character.
Yeah, the dumbest part is like him giving his weapons away, but then he gets it back at the end anyway, so it's not really. So I guess he learned his lesson in some regard, where here he doesn't really learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, even what they learned is like teamwork. Like, dude, you learned that in the first movie, dipshit.
You learned that in the first movie. So yeah, we're able to find the opening transcript.
Oh god, I'm still finding this shit because
Yeah,
I don't think anyone gave gave a crap about making a transcript of this movie. This is how
yeah,
bad it is.
yeah. That's true. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, here it is.
I
Found it.
was yeah good.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on a second. Just take some to load. Oh, here it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Here.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he starts summarizing the first movie, and there's a few
Yeah.
things I want to highlight, specifically what he says about it.
Yeah. Okay. So she's okay. 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 I'm just gonna skip a bunch of things. It's like,
Yeah, just
yes.
start where
Yeah.
you start talking about the first movie.
Okay. I see some I see some old friends. I see some new friends. I see friends who frankly should put some pants on and venture outside occasionally. I'm just
Yeah, skip that.
yeah. Okay, but for those who are just joining us, here's a little something to catch you up in the form of my incredibly exciting superhero origin story.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is the first sentence. Tell me all the problems. Metro City, a city full of danger, and only Metro Man was strong enough to defend it from evil.
All right, so my first problem, he never calls it Metro City. That's kind of one of his quirks. He always calls it Metrocity. Um, so that's kind of weird. Uh, but outside of that, so yeah, Metro Man was the guy. He was the guy to protect the city. So yeah, that's about right. Um, I don't
That's
know how much danger was the city in, but we'll get to
yeah,
that.
because it's like yeah. Until I totally kicked his butt, that's me, Megamind. Incredibly handsome criminal genius and master of all villainy, but without a hero to fight, I felt lonely.
Yeah, no, that's not accurate. Um, he was having an existential crisis. He wasn't feeling lonely. I mean, I guess if you want to dumb it down, there is some aspect of where you could feel like he's being lonely, but that's not really what's happening. He was having a crisis. He even says that in the first movie.
Yeah.
Like,
He,
as a villain, usually the villain has to fight a hero, but now that the hero is dead, he doesn't know what to do now. Now that he has the city in control, and he didn't want Metro Man to actually die, so there's that. Anything else, or for
yeah,
like on your side?
yeah. I was just literally looking at the fucking thing. I was like, even I could not believe what it's written until I slowed it down. So I created a new superhero to play with named Titan. Unfortunately, he was a worse villain than I ever was. It was
Uh,
then, yeah.
I I guess like in that perspective, yeah, maybe.
It was then I realized my destiny was not to be a supervillain but a superhero. I defeated Titan and saved the day.
Well, I mean, that wasn't really why he became a superhero. He found like the ending was like because like Roxanne was in danger, and like his whole point was to protect her because like that was what he found a purpose to like to keep going or to keep doing. So it's not really just to be a hero to save the day. I mean, that kind of became a result of that. Which that is something that I could comment on the first movie too. It's like it is kind of quick in terms of like how like it gets resolved, but it's still like understandable like for this fact that like it's like the movie is over. There might not be a sequel, so it's like it's okay to like kind of have it like level out like this, and then if you have a sequel, maybe that can like challenge Megamind. Like maybe him being a hero is not like super easy, like or he's trying to figure out how to be more like Metro Man. Which honestly, the the button of doom was kind of doing that. So it was like an interesting idea of what to do with it. But yeah, I don't know like, but that's not really like how I would say that's how that happened. So yeah,
Oh, let's see. I should. I become Megamind, defender of Metro City. Megamind. I become Megamind. I became Megamind. What?
yeah,
He is Megamind. What the fuck?
yeah,
But little did I know my greatest challenge was yet to come.
yeah. And let's get to that challenge. So we start off. I guess we'll take Stai's comment first. Funny story. Years ago, DreamWorks said they wouldn't make sequels for their products that they listed as parodies of a specific genre, and listed Megamind specifically. That aged well. Yeah, that is kind of the thing. It's like I could see a sequel for Megamind because like one of the things that made Megamind so so unique at the time. I mean, obviously until Despicable Me also had a similar concept. Was that a lot of it was like parodies of general superhero, supervillain stories, and like kind of like putting its own twist on it. Like, I mean, Metro Man is literally Superman. I mean, both of
Yeah.
them, both Megamind and Metro Man had like the Clark Kent origin of leaving an exploding planet kind of thing, or in their case, a planet going to a black hole. So there's that, and then like I mean like Titan's name is Hal Stewart, which was intentionally named after Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart, and then obviously Roxanne is like a Lois Lane kind of thing. So it's like yeah, so there's a lot of elements in there. They have the bat signal for Megamind, so yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of things like that, and you can I again like there is like a story you could tell in a sequel for Megamind, but now that we see what the original writers of the first film came up with, it's like I guess I don't really need that anymore.
Yeah. I was like, and even the first one I was like, wait, how much is the writer do as just studio and Guillermo del Toro? And yes, Guillermo del Toro actually helped the first movie, and he actually made a lot of advices.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he literally just said this. He literally just like keep insisting to cut 7 minutes of the film because he just think that is a bad idea. I
yeah,
don't know. I didn't. He didn't tell me what 7 minutes is, but it's like he has to say that, or else he has to he has to believe that something is wrong.
yeah. It's also like one other thing is so the Doom Syndicate. If that name is familiar, some of your Megamind video games used to have the Doom Syndicate. And then in the OG cut of the Megamind movie, they were supposed to include the Doom Syndicate in that too. They were cut out due to like too many characters, not enough time to really delve into them. It was added to the video game, though they look completely different with a different set of powers too. So it's not whatever you see on the screen right here, generic supervillains here, but we'll get to them. Um, but the important thing was like Doom Syndicate was created by Titan in those properties, like originally in the original cut of the film and in the video games. Titan was the creator or was the leader of those teams, not Megamind, which we'll get to. So Guillermo del Toro he advised for the movie.
Yeah, fun fact if you don't know. You
Yeah,
know the
that's
opening
kind of
of him.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, do you know the opening of Falling to His Death? That's actually Guillermo del Toro's idea.
yeah, it's an iconic meme. It's like you're probably wondering how I how I ended up like this, or um, like in medias res kind of thing. I mean, it's still like that concept is in a lot of literature too, so and films. Um, but yeah, that's true. Megamind is more light blue. I mean, his head is like more round in this one than like in the original. His head is more like elongated. So yeah, it just looks weird. Um, and honestly, like with how cheap the animation looks, it's like I don't know why they decided to go with a bunch of complex design characters, especially for the Doom Syndicate, when they clearly can't handle um, this kind of budget, which again we'll get to.
I mean,
Uh,
let's
yeah,
just say, do you know how much? I do not believe that Peacock just like throw this little budget for the second movie. If there's actually some high budget shows they actually did, but it's like they look much better than whatever fuck they have now.
and yeah, it's like DreamWorks Animation, like Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness, and Penguins of Madagascar. Like I've seen them before. Like I actually rewatched Penguins of Madagascar out of fun, uh, like recently. So it's like it looks pretty good in terms of their animation style. I mean, of course, it's not in comparison to DreamWorks Madagascar, like the movies. Like, yeah, of course, it's not similar, but it's still like okay. Like it's still like tolerable to look at. It's like, and then like like as simple stories for kids, it's like yeah, it's okay as a show. Um, but this is like I feel like they made the show it meant to be like not canon to Megamind, like the DreamWorks animation, like that's what they kind of used to do. It's like, but then they're like, we could just make it canon. All we have to do is just make a second film, and then just, I guess like weave in the canonicity of that. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I find it weird. This style. They should have just said it was not canon. But then again, nobody would watch it.
I mean,
Then again, nobody watched it anyways.
yep.
Yeah.
To be fair, they could just say that this film is actually non-canon. We actually sorry we actually made this up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So again, if the movie had a higher budget than a Buffy episode's budget that they went with, then the trailers had red flags, namely that Megamind is trying to be Jake Paul. Yeah. And again,
Everyone points out that Doom Syndicate retcon during the first trailer already, and no one's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
yeah, I mean, like first off, they don't even have smartphones in that Megamind world. So it's like, and you have this like Asian girl who is like a smartphone modern day kind of character. It's like it doesn't really make sense because like all the characters used to use like flip phones in the 2010 movie, and this is taking place 2 days after the first movie, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
But
pretend.
don't think about it, I guess.
And hey, don't just remember, and you just hope that you bank on the fact you didn't rewatch the first movie before that.
Oh yeah, and it's like, oh, we gave our summary for the first movie. Just listen to that. No.
Yep. Oh god. I mean,
Yeah.
just her gaslighting me. I was like, I don't think any. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get.
I was
yeah,
reading. I was like, wait.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We haven't. Yeah, that's just good. No, it's fine. Just doing some technical stuff behind it right here.
Yeah. So basically we start off. So there's a heist going on in an aquarium. There's like a team called the Fish Gang.
Let's just point out the first issue. Red comes from the first movie. The red comes from the first movie. Jeez.
Which one in particular?
There's only one super villain in the city.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess like what they decided to say is that there are other supervillains now in this city, which, all right, that's kind of weird because like the previous film has stated that Megamind was the only supervillain. Titan says that this town is not big enough for two supervillains. So it's like now there's like there are more there are supervillain factions now, which we'll get to the Doom Syndicate in a bit.
And if you're wondering,
the one the one thing you could say about the Fish Gang in particular is that maybe they just formed and they just became a supervillain team because to counteract Megamind. But it's like, even then, it's like, I don't know, man. In 2 days, you made a plan to steal a diamond encrusted fish from
from
the
China.
from China in this American, or it's not American. I can't say that. Whatever the fictional world this is, and you just assume that uh, they had like they weren't like a like some kind of. I mean, they clearly had enough research to find this place to find the fish in this aquarium. So it's like there was clearly some time and planning and stuff like that. So there's no way they became a team 2 days ago and decided to steal a fish like this. So it's like, I don't know.
and
You have to assume that they existed for a while.
Yeah, and Megamind even said he expected them to steal the fish. It was like, so they
So he
exist for
knows
a
them.
while.
So he
Yeah,
knows them. Yeah.
and just to be clear, but why did Titan say this? It's like, it's Titan. He's an evil villain. Wow, Titan is also a fucking reporter. The dipshit. He should
Yeah.
if there's other villains, he should know it clear as day.
Yeah. Now the only thing that the film I can't call this a film. This thing called it like is that on the news, Roxanne does say that there were other supervillains. It's just like, but not nobody was like they were all in hiding because like Metro Man is like so powerful. Like Megamind is the only crazy one to go up against him. So it's like that's why people felt like that's why like a lot of the supervillains went like that were not on par with Megamind would like go into hiding and they would that was their justification as to like, oh, how where were all these other supervillains in the previous movies? Like, oh, they were scared of Metro Man, so that they went into hiding, and Megamind is the only guy that's like willing to go up against him. So that was their explanation, quote unquote. So these villains existed the entire time. This is just the first time they're coming out because Metro Man is gone and Megamind is the new hero, and they feel like they could take Megamind, which that's I'm not sure if Megamind was crazy enough to go against Metro Man. He killed Metro Man because a lot of people still believe that Metro Man is dead.
Yeah, what?
Because they even like in the I greatly exaggerated my death. They found out that he was actually Megamind using his disguise thing. Like everybody saw him do that too. So it's like it's not like nobody knew that, and people thought Metro Man was alive. So, and then obviously Metro Man was in the audience, but like he's still in disguise as well, trying to hide, his that he's not Metro Man anymore. So yeah, so I don't know why they would feel like they can't be scared of Megamind now that he's a superhero. That just doesn't really make
Yeah,
sense to me.
and if you look at the villains in this movie, I was like, oh no, you guys are crazy enough to fight against Metro Man. If anything.
Yeah, yeah. It's like he was good enough to kill Metro Man. He stopped Titan. And Titan had like the power of Metro Man. It's like I don't really know what makes him like. Oh, I could take him. I could take Megamind in a fight. All right. And then so yeah. So he's known the Fish Gang.
And they were like, oh, and by the way, this expensive diamond fish is put in a museum with no
Yeah.
security guards
Yeah,
and security system.
and it gets like this early I noticed animation errors like they cut a hole in the tank and then like it only leaks enough water for the fish to come out and then it stops leaking water. No, it should keep running water until it's like flood the place because yeah, you can't just do that. Um, yeah, that happens a lot. So it's like if we talk about the animation errors, it's just gonna be ridiculous.
And then let's just say it's like, and then Megamind just comes in and is like, and then he was like, oh, he just monologues, which is like, fuck it, yeah, sure, because that's Megamind. He likes he likes presentation. I was like, but then but the fish gang does nothing when he's saying stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they talk about Minion, but Minion then explains that he can't be called Minion anymore because apparently there is a trademark from Mr. Minion's Meatsicles, so he has to be called Old Chum now, or Chum for short. And yeah, it's a clearly not meta reference to make him not called Minion because Despicable Me has the more popular minions in comparison. So
And my issue is like, wait, what the fuck? Why don't Megamind call him Chum already from the first movie?
yeah, it's like Mr. Mr. Minion's Meatsicles is a trademark. So it's like I he can't get that in 2 days to the point where Minion has to remove his name for that
Not
reason.
not 2 days, 1 day, because the Button of Doom just
One day,
appeared
yeah.
yesterday.
So yesterday, yeah, that's true. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense for like Minion to not rename to. He should have been called Chum from the beginning. I don't know.
And then what the fuck did Megamind do? You see, he just trapped them in a box.
Yeah, but actually not because the box was defective. That will come back later in the movie as
Yeah.
well.
Oh god. I mean,
So yeah, so there's like a chase scene.
which my question is, why don't you just use a D gun? You know, the gun that can turn things into boxes.
Yeah, the dehydration gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a chase scene. So he's chasing.
And yeah, it's so weird because how did they escape? You see, they shot a, I don't know, they just destroyed some glass and shot a shark and out of it.
Oh,
And
so they broke the tank, and they broke the tank with a swordfish, and it got the shark out of its tank. Then then Megamind uses the dehydration gun on the shark to make it tiny. Then
which
he
was like,
takes yeah,
yeah, which was
which
like,
is like
wait, what?
that's not that's not good for the shark. Um, but okay, I mean I'm not talking about animal abuse or anything like that. We'll get to that in a second. But
Yeah, because I was like, wait, doesn't the shark has covered with water? Can a dehydration gun work on that? I don't get it.
yeah. But speaking of the shark, so
Yeah.
the fish gang gets in like a fish tank because I guess they have one of those. They get in their fish tank. They start shooting shots. They're kind of trash talking. It's like, dude, you suck as a hero. You may have been a great villain, but you suck as being a superhero. And then it's like, all right, so
We're just like, no, fuck you. He's good at it.
he stopped Titan. He destroyed a giant robot, which was his own creation, by the way. But like, he still
Yeah.
defeated it. Uh, yeah. So he gets in the so he throws the shark cube into the tank. Then he jumps into on top of the tank's like cannon part, and then he drops like a drizzle of water, and then the shark becomes a giant, and it's like inside. So it's like
What?
he's lucky that it didn't kill them.
We're just like, why do you just do it so complicated? Just shoot it with the D gun.
Just shoot the tank with it. Yeah,
Which, to be honest, this is a problem I have with the first movie. Because, like, Mega Man was just like, yeah, oh no, how can I stop Titan? I was like, yeah, just shoot it with a D gun. You dipshit.
yeah. I mean, granted, like that would be the same thing for Metro Man. I guess like the only thing is like they're too fast for that, which is totally possible.
But yeah,
Um,
but I was like, but Mega Man is able to stab his nose with the DNA taking away thing. Gun. What was it like?
yeah, though Titan wasn't the brightest guy, to be fair.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, we're just even but the first movie just like, wait, Mega Man should just try to shoot him. It's just like there's one of the problems I have with the first film. But it's but even if the first film fucked that, I was like, the second film doesn't mean the second film get a pass for it.
Yeah, my only thing about the dehydration gun for the first film is like, um, most of it is a little bit impractical in terms of like how he can use it. I mean, he also has like his other tech too, And not to mention, like with Titan, the main thing was not really to stop Titan. You also need to get rid of his powers because like Titan clearly is not worthy to have them. He's going to use them dangerously, and then he's not going to be able to retain, be able to restore into like a prison or anything like that because he has the power of Superman. So I could see like why he wasn't relying on the dehydration gun in that specific moment, but yeah, but in this case, you're fighting like a fish gang, man. Like they're just guys in a fish costume, so they're not super beings. Um, there's like no reason to not use the dehydration gun on them. Um, so yeah,
By the way, Megamind has portal guns now.
yeah, he has a portal gun. That was the one that's the part I wanted to talk about. So first off, he shoots. So the truck is like heading in the direction of like a baby carriage. So his solution is to shoot a portal gun, which by the way, I don't know like why a portal gun would like go all the way ahead of the tank and then it stops in place and then the tank goes into it and then it disappears. Like how does that work? Um, yeah, and then um, one second. Speaking of Despicable Me 4, have you heard? Have six. Okay.
Well, just saying, Despicable Me 4 trailer is much better than Megamind 2 trailer. And I do not think the Despicable Me trailer is the Despicable Me 4 trailer is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So he stops them. He gets the key of the city by the mayor.
Just saying that the portal gun is not shown ever again, and and you will see how useful that is.
Yeah. The portal gun wasn't in the short film either. So
Yeah.
so I guess he made it in one day.
Yep.
Is my guess.
It was just like, wow, where is the you? Why do we? If he has it all the entire time, I was like, wow, where is it in the first film or the short film? Well, where is it in the first film?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like he not just that, it's like also he what was it? I don't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so he gets the key to the city. Roxanne is kind of kind of depressed because like she feels like her life is becoming a circle. Um, she used to talk about Metroman a lot. Now she talks about Megamind a lot. So she doesn't really have a purpose in life now. So she takes this advice from this middle school girl about how to do better.
By the way, this is just 2 days afterwards. Like, well, you gave up. You want to you think it's too. You think reporting Megamind for 2 days is too tired, I guess.
Yeah, and then this 12-year-old is like giving you confidence again to find a purpose in life. All right, that's great, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, that girl is just she looks like a Coco Melon character. Um, she's not a character at all in any sense. She's very
Jesus.
she's a self-insert in a child insert kind of way. She shows up whenever the plot needs her. She's helpful whenever the plot needs her to be. And yeah, she'll come back again and again. So yeah. And yeah, so here's where the weird stuff starts to happen. Chum and Megamind, they're having a bit of beef in this part where Megamind has a big ego. He doesn't see Chum as an equal. He doesn't see him as a sidekick. He sees him as a minion. Which I don't know, man. Like 2 days ago, you had a depressive state because you lost Minion. And now you're doing this arc again where we need to separate Minion and Megamind for what?
I mean, and just like a blow to his character. It's like, wow. The first movie, you just like you actually apologize to Minion, and now you just like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, it's like Megamind. He just like for some reason just doesn't really care about Minion. Minion has to get his like he has to take advice from Roxanne. It's like you need to stand up to Megamind and say that he needs to be a proper sidekick or he'll walk away. And Megamind lets him walk. And it's like, you got really upset when that happened the last time. So I don't understand why you're okay with this time. And now, like, Megamind's whole arc is like he needs to learn that he needs to learn. So his arc is that he needs to learn to rely on friends. He needs to work together. He needs that's his arc for the movie. And Minion, I don't know what his arc is. Um,
His arc is to
his arc is to set up a character for the TV show. That's what it
Yep.
is. Yeah,
Hey, I'm not watching that TV show. I was like, fuck you.
yeah. I watched one episode. It's fucking garbage.
Who expected that?
Yeah, he shoots the donut guy with an evil ray, and by accident. Megamind had incompetent moments in the first film, but he wasn't incompetent to the point where like he would uh like his incompetence comes from like either getting embarrassed or like, you know, or it's like he's not very good at talking to other people. Though he does like learn how to do that better as being Bernard talking to Roxanne. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like but overall his incompetence just comes from like understandable things. But here he's like being like an idiot when
Hmm.
he's Megamind. So yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah. So as we said, Megamind goes back to being selfish, despite learning his lesson from the first movie. Uh, as an equal, like, so yeah. Like the thing is, like when they separated in the first film, it was like kind of like it was pretty petty for like why it happened, but it was understandable because like you know because Megamind literally says like I don't want to be the villain anymore. What if I don't want to be the villain anymore out of anger because Minion had to leave because he had no idea how to process that. So yeah, it's like it was understandable why they had to separate in that time. But in this show, it's like I want to be a sidekick. It's like I won't call you a sidekick. Why not? Isn't he basically a sidekick?
Yeah. I was like, and even that was like,
He's not even saying I want to be an equal. Like I don't want to be a hero. I want to be your sidekick. So it's like you're still above me in power. So I don't
yeah,
get it.
it's so weird. It was like, even that was like, wait, wouldn't like Minion just thinks like, wait, I'm your sidekick in the first movie. He already feels that way already. It was like, wait, why would you feel that way now?
Yeah, the problem is like, oh, it's like I'm not. He's not treating me like a hero. He's treating me like, oh, he wants me to do his laundry. He wants me to do this and that. He's not really asking me for my input in terms of like superheroing or anything like that. Which is like, I guess, but the thing is like that's kind of, but that's like in Minion's character too. It's like to do these mundane tasks for his sir, basically. So it's like I don't know, like but at the same time, Megamind is being a dick at the same time with the whole. I like to the point where he doesn't care about his thoughts or feelings for minions. So I don't know. It's a forced arc. So yeah. Um. So let's get to them.
And that's I don't even want to. I just like,
Oh, he also gives a flash grenade to the girl. Saying it's either paperweight or a flash grenade. I don't remember. That would be
well,
important for later. In the plot. But
yeah,
Button of Doom had him learn not to give away his weapons to kids. So yeah,
yeah.
And oh, I guess like I'll have to say Keiko, the middle school girl, she's basically president of the fan club for Megamind, which okay, fine.
Yeah,
But then yeah, so his way of like rewarding her or like to make her go away, it's like here's a flash grenade. Now
yeah,
leave me alone. So it's like
yeah.
okay,
And do you know what he said as well? Here's
yeah,
the thing: I don't do teams. I'm more of a solo act, but you're adorable in a pushy sort of way. Was like, I don't do teams. Fuck you. You literally do teams in the first movie.
yeah. Um, but actually, if we go back to the next scene, we see four guys in a prison, four supervillains in a prison, the
Yep.
Doom Syndicate. And what exactly are they? Well, they were the former team of Megamind. So so fuck
Uh,
all that part where
uh,
Megamind was like like a lonely guy with Chum as his only friend. So fuck all that. Fuck the part where he's so inept at talking to other people that he just can't really socialize properly. Um, and then it's like
why would you
he
do that?
why would you do that? It's like this is the part that people commented on the most because obviously this was in the trailer. So like everybody, it you could not hide this fact. It's like everybody knew that Megamind 2 is going to say that we're the Doom Syndicate. We used to work for you. Don't you remember? It's like yeah, it's like I'm just saying, man. That backstory is pretty nice. It's like closely knit in terms of like his origin. There is no possible way that he had a supervillain team. It's already a stretch for me to believe that there is a bunch of supervillains in the city, but all of them decided to hide from because of Metro Man and Megamind would go and take center stage. So okay, that's already too much to believe for me. But now you're trying to tell me that that he also had a supervillain team. He went to supervillain school to learn how to be a better supervillain. It's like, what?
What? What? And the thing is, he spent most of his life in prison. How the fuck did he go to super villain school? I mean, a bunch of people to do evil things with them.
Yeah, it's like plus he was like a tech genius. He pretty much got all of his aspects from childhood, like in terms of like learning like doing the right thing is wrong and doing the wrong thing is right. That concept what he learned in jail. Um but it's like he was clearly a solo act with Minion as his only friend. I mean, that was kind of a point. It's like he didn't have friends. He didn't have anybody other than Minion. Minion was his only guy, and that's fine. That's exactly what. That's kind of the point of his character. So to say that he had friends, he had a team, that makes no sense.
Redcons after redcons.
And it's like, dude, it's like all you had to say. Like, I'm not. I can't really accept Titan being the guy in charge of this team because clearly Titan it's kind of hard to buy that because like Titan is just he's not a super being anymore, so he can't even do that anyways.
I was like, I
Um,
mean, it's just so simple.
or
Just
just
have
make it
them
a
be,
brand new team.
or just say that they are actually villains from the other city and they are here because they feel Megamind is was lesser than much
Metro
less
Man,
power. Yeah, much
yeah,
less powerful than Metro Man.
yeah. It's like I could at least take that. It's like no, it's like oh you're my old team. It's like fuck you, man.
I mean,
Yeah, so
even what I suggested has issues because Metro Man technically fixed his staff. It was like, wait, what are the other villains in the other places? Like, Of course, I won't do it like after 2 days. Give several years at least.
Yeah, I don't know why this is set 2 days after the first film too. It's like, what could you possibly do as a sequel idea in 2 days' time? It's like that just makes no sense to me. And like you're also telling me that 2 days after the ending of Megamind, they're going to bring. We can't even. We can't spoil what was their supervillain plan for this movie until later. It's really stupid just to set it up, but that's not really a surprise. Um, yeah, so as we mentioned before, the film states that after Metro Man was gone and Mega Man became the hero of Metro City, other villains started to come out of hiding. And at multiple points in the first film, it stated that the city only had one hero and one villain. And Titan pointed out that the city was too small to have him and Megamind be the villains in it. So,
and
yeah.
Met- and one of the reasons that Metro Man just faked his death because he's got so tired of just fighting Megamind.
Yeah, and then it's like he's also like being a superhero like all the time. Like that's like all he could dedicate his life. He can't really appreciate his humanity either. So it's like at least like faking his death is like a way that he can finally be a human. Like allow him to experience things like how people do, without that responsibility. And plus, he had he believed that Megamind, after this discussion and all that, and Megamind saves the day. It's like the Megamind. I mean, he was proud of Megamind at the same time, for that. So yeah, but yeah, so the Doom Syndicate. So again, as we mentioned, they were a part of the Megamind video game. They were founded by Titan. In the first movie, they were supposed to be there, but they were scrapped. They were mentioned in the art book for Megamind. Another thing too is like all the character designs are not the same as what they used to be. That part is kind of weird for me, but like, all right,
Uh,
they just look very generic. I mean, the the mime character is literally named Pierre Pressure. The girl is named Lady Doppler. The big guy is Behemoth, and then the knight is Nighty Knight. So yeah, that's our villain squad team. Um, yeah, we're kind of
yeah,
lacking creativity here.
yeah. Let's get to be honest. I don't even know what to say about all the scenes because let's be honest, they're all caricatures.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. We
I mean, like basically, the most they do in terms of engaging is like deciding who is actually the true leader of this team, which none of them could decide that. So they're saying, "Oh, let's talk to Megamind, our former boss. Maybe he could tell us which one of us is like second in charge." It's like, oh, so you just assassinated Megamind in one sentence, even though he already did that earlier. But yeah. Um. So first off, the Doom Syndicate were placed in a normal prison. These super beings were placed in a normal prison.
and
Uh,
remember the first movie?
yeah, the Supermax. The
Yep.
Supermax able to contain Megamind, unless he like outsmarts them. But like that's different. Yeah, it's like honestly, oh my god. Yeah, so they were in a normal prison. And then for some reason they decide. Uh, so yeah, they attack all the guards, and then they escape, and they're like, okay, we need to see Megamind because they saw in the news that Megamind is getting the key to the city. But in their interpretation, they think it's because Megamind actually, yeah, that's like setting up for they're gonna explain it to us like in a second. So yeah, uh,
Yeah.
So Megamind gave a bobblehead that stalks Roxanne, and it can send her hologram messages,
Which
and
was
then he,
like, yeah, which was like when Roxanne was like, Roxanne should be just like, wow, what the fuck you said? What the fuck you give me a tracker? This is insane. I hate you. We're like, there's no. If someone gives me a tracker out of secret, was like, I'll just question everything.
yeah. But it didn't go that far. She just said, "Come back to the lair. I need your help. It's an emergency." And the joke is he doesn't know how to use the toaster.
What the fuck?
This guy made a portal gun. This guy makes a death beam from the satellite, and he doesn't know how to use a toaster. But it's funny because he's not able to do his everyday task because of Minion being gone, which is not the point of Minion. But okay.
I mean, if you want to try to show that, at least try to show him and do laundry.
Yeah, like laundry is like fair enough. It's like, but using a toaster, like, goddamn. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
but then, yeah, this is the point where the Doom Syndicate crashes into his lair, which I already have to comment. So, if the Doom Syndicate knows your lair, I would have to assume this was your lair back when you had a super villain team, quote unquote, because I still don't buy it. So it's like they know where your lair is. It's the same layer over there. You're a superhero now. Wouldn't you want your layer to be somewhere else, like just in case if your former supervillain team comes out of prison, uh, they won't be able to find you? Isn't
I
that the
mean,
point of a layer?
even that was like, even I was assume in the first movie, Mega Man has a lot of layers just in case.
Yeah,
What was it? But this is insane. Uh, and then the Doom Syndicate, what the fuck? And yeah, I don't even know what to say about them. It's like, yeah, they're just like, hey, I'm evil. I'm waiting for a signal. Which that signal could be anything. It could be just be, well, okay, Metro Man, come out.
yeah. Yeah, so they assume that him being a superhero, quote unquote, and then getting the key to the city, it's like is to bring the trust of the people. This was supposed to be the signal for commencement of phase 2. So the Doom Syndicate said they were laying low in prison the entire time, uh, because Megamind told them, if you guys stay in prison while I go deal with Metro Man. When I give the signal, we will commence phase 2 of our plan. Um, so and then Megamind forgot about all this because it was a retcon. Um, yeah, so he didn't remember this plan, or he didn't remember, like, oh, it's like I asked you guys to go to prison for who knows how long. It could be 2 days for all we know. And yeah, it's so bizarre. I got
Yeah, it just. I mean, imagine they just satisfy the fact that oh, Metro Man died. That's a signal. Good job. Great.
yeah,
And
it's
then
like, and
yeah.
I'd have to assume like they just didn't see Metro Man dying on the news. Um,
Which is like it should be the biggest news ever.
yeah, because everybody saw that. Everybody saw that. Even the people saw Metro Man's skeleton in Megamind's hands. Even though it wasn't real, of course, but they all said like, "I did it. He did it. He did it. Like he actually did it." He actually killed Metro Man. So it's like, how is that not? How did they not see that? It was on the news because of the Metro Man Day uh, celebration thing. So it's like, yeah, I don't really get this concept here. Let me
Uh,
see.
okay, yeah. Let's just
Oh, and
talk
then
about yeah. Do you remember the button of doom that's a spider robot?
yeah,
It should be in the layer.
yeah,
Do you see the spider robot here?
I didn't.
Yep. Imagine here. Because in button of doom he also has this for just in case anything happens. uh, a guard.
Right. And then also,
Also,
so Megamind is scared of the Doom Syndicate because despite being their former leader, it's like I don't know if you were their leader. I don't think it's. I think you should know how to beat all of them. Um, Technically speaking, I mean, I know you're a superhero now, but I don't really see how. I mean, first off, these villains do not look intimidating at all. Like they don't look scary or anything like that. I feel like you could take them. You beat Metro Man and Titan. I think you could beat these guys. It's like, well, no, Megamind is like scared. It's like, oh, I don't want them to find out. I can't beat them 1-on-4. It's like you didn't try. So it's like,
yeah. It was like, I mean, I get it in the first reason. It was like, oh fuck, we gotta pretend because we gotta catch them off guard. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? If I say that because they arrived here by surprise. I didn't prepare anything, so it's like we just gotta play pretend. I was like, yeah, fair.
that's fair. My problem too is like the way that they do beat each of them is pretty ridiculous at the end of the movie. So it's like, dude, if you defeated them easily, like how they do in later in the movie, it's like, damn, you could have just stopped them earlier, and none of this would have happened. But we need a plot, so for now he's scared. Um, Apparently Roxanne knew Lady Doppler before. She was the weather. She was basically the weather girl who would get the weather wrong all the time and throw lightning bolts at people before she became a villain. Yeah, so I guess Roxanne knew supervillains prior to Mega Man. So it's really weird. It's like the film makes it clear that there was only one hero, one villain,
Yeah,
and now there's like a bunch of there was actually a bunch of supervillains.
yeah. And then Roxanne, yeah, it's weird. And then you know what Roxanne said in this moment? It was like, wow, no, I'm not gonna play pretend. I was like, because I'm not because just tell them you're heroes. Like, wait, what the fuck do you want, Roxanne? You wanna die?
Yeah, though they're pretty inept to be fair, but yeah, that's also not safe. Yeah, so she goes along. So the lie is that we're pretending to be a husband and evil wife. So I guess it's very generic.
Yeah, I
So
just yeah.
this is the part where it's more important. So Megamind said he founded the Doom Syndicate team after graduating from villain school. He turned the professor into literal pieces. He needs to maintain the lie until he can figure out how to get rid of them. So the first movie states that he was raised in a prison and he was taught the opposite of right and wrong. He also used his superior intellect to create inventions at a young age. And when he kept being rejected by his peers as the bad kid, he decided to be evil from there on. He was also a lonely person with Minion, as we said multiple times, but it's still true. Um, yeah, so these are clearly different, conflicting information. Uh,
Yeah. And then it was like, okay, and if someone asks me, if someone just like, oh, well, you think you can figure out about a plan to defeat them? Was like, yeah, I'll just have them fall asleep and just shoot them with a D gun.
yeah. Hmm.
I mean, that's a better strategy than whatever than what Mega might come up with. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. The Doom Syndicate is going to commence phase two. Megamind says go talk to the mayor, and he's going to figure out what to do. So Chum is working as a toilet scrubber. Um,
Uh,
so that's a side plot. He's
yeah, yeah,
working in a dumpy diner, and he wants to make it look better. So he makes it a donut shop.
yeah. We can just summarize it like this because there's really nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about. Yeah, so Megamind is sent inside a bank. He's trying to pretend that he's evil in front of the Doom Syndicate.
You know what? Let's just say just Actually, we skip a part where it's like the Doom
Yeah,
Syndicate try to destroy the city.
the empty city too. Keep in mind. Yeah, like it's very lifeless, soulless. Like there's there's like a bunch of buildings and a bunch of empty roads and maybe like 2 cars, but like there's no people or anything like that. So it's like they're terrorizing the city, but there's nobody running away from them, or like just show them terrorizing the city, because they can't do that because Megamind is trying to be a hero on the down low by making the mind bots like clean up their mess and stuff like that.
Which
While that's just
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's no reporters. Like, wait, what? This should be reported everywhere. I was like, where are the cops? Where's everyone? I was like, imagine if some reporters there, like, and they're just like, wait, what the fuck is Megamind not stopping them?
Yeah. But then they can't have the part where he's still hiding the fact that he's not a superhero. Uh, that he's not a supervillain. Which, when they go into the bank, well, first they drop rubble and it almost crushes the middle school girl's head, which a lot of people were cheering for that to happen and were disappointed that it didn't happen. But that's neither here nor there. Um, yeah, she just shows up out of nowhere from time to time. For example, like when they go into the bank, he's trying to pretend to rob the bank, but you know the people are like, oh, but he has the gun on them. He's like, I need to pretend that like I'm robbing you guys. It's like, are you guys like, what do you mean? Are you like evil again or? But then the girl like shows up out of nowhere again, and she's like, oh, this is actually a PSA for like parents to teach kids like this is what a supervillain would do. Which I don't know what the purpose is to have Megamind be the shooter. Uh, it's like what kind of purpose does it teach to the kids? Like if the superhero is like trying to shoot up a bank, so it's like the weird part too is like so everybody buys it. So everybody buys it and they raise their hands and that gets the because like the Doom Syndicate was like trying to was like kind of like thinking like is Megamind good or bad? It's like I'm not really sure. But it's like, okay, why don't you rob that bank? That's what old Megamind used to do. He used to be very good at that. So that was like kind of their thing. Lady Doppler's like the only one who's not convinced, but that doesn't really matter because it goes nowhere.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, how the fuck? What will you not think of an excuse already? Do you know how smart Megamind is in the first film? He literally figured out a plan to defeat Titan when he's falling from death.
yeah.
I was like, okay, how am Megamind's got fingerprints? Like, just say this. Lay low, pretend, or else the people outside is gonna kill you.
Also, like, dude, you could just use your disguise thing, pretend to be a robber, and like try to shoot up the place. Not like literally, but like you have a gun in your hand, you're asking for money, and you're trying to get it. So that way you don't ruin the reputation of Megamind. And it's like if your villain squad should know you have a disguise watch or something like that. If they were your team, which again bullshit, but accept it for now for the sake of the plot. Yeah, so it's like if you were disguised as somebody else and pretend to be like a shooter, and then you get money out of the bank. That way, you don't ruin your reputation in front of the people, and you don't ruin the reputation in front of the supervillains. So I don't know. It's like, and then when he gets out of the bank, he has the sack of money, but the sack is empty, which is a bad animation error.
Yeah.
Because like, and I don't really comment on animation errors, but like it was so noticeable in this show. It's like in this thing. So I don't know. It's so bizarre. Yeah, but Lady Doppler is still not convinced, but it doesn't really go anywhere because they're still having the argument on who is the person in charge. It's supposed to set up an arc for later in the movie. So yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and then just like to be honest, it's just like this is the only line I kind of like, or just like, wait, who is in charge? And Megamind's like, the evilest person. Like, yeah,
That's clearly
which
me.
is, I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of funny, and actually smart thing to say. Just have them keep
Yeah.
arguing.
Yeah, true. Um, so the mayor and Roxanne, they have their conversation. The mayor is very inept. He doesn't know. He's like really stupid. That's pretty much the point of his character. So
Yeah,
he's requiring advice from the reporter on how to run the city. It's supposed to set up an arc for Roxanne, which is also stupid. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Just is like the mayor is like, oh, I can't do anything. I stuck. Was like, what the fuck? How are you this bad at doing things?
and it's
I
like,
mean,
dude,
he's
you used to deal with like Megamind and Metro Man fights, so it's like I don't know like how you lost all cool from this, and it's like I don't know. The mayor is just really stupid. And I don't mind a bumbling mayor. Like that's not really my problem. My problem is more like it's very cartoony, which again I guess it is a kids movie, whatever. Though the first film was a lot smarter to do dumb tropes like that. But yeah, this film clearly has none of that nuance that the original film had.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, the first film is just so subverted, and this film is just like, wow, the most generic shit I've ever seen. If they can make it wow, that's another thing, but it's like they clearly can't.
Yeah, yeah, and basically, so they go back to the lair.
Nobody told. I was literally looking for a transcript, and it's like the mayor literally said, "Nobody told me mayoring would be so hard."
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
The so Megamind is still worried on how to defeat four villains.
and
Even though he
yeah,
led this team before, he should probably know their weaknesses and fears or whatever.
yeah.
But I guess he doesn't.
I mean,
He
just
never
take
showed any fear against Metro Man and Titan. So
yeah, just take my advice. Have them fall asleep, and then you shoot them with a D gun. You dumb fucks. You dumb fuck. Uh,
yeah. So he's about to go to sleep, but then apparently, uh, the Doom Syndicate brought like a bunch of criminals into the lair to do a disco party.
which was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where did they come from?
Yeah, yeah,
If
and
and if
like, and my thing,
yeah,
the first film, he used to have alarms for like if any intruder is coming towards the lair. But then again, I guess in the sequel, in the short film, he does invite people into his lair, like normal civilians. Which I don't know, like what is the point of having a lair if you're gonna
yeah.
willingly allow people? Like that's a problem for the short film as well, uh, or at least in that concept of what they did. But yeah, it's like yeah, so everybody is like in there. It did not sound any alarms. He was only awoken by the disco music, which is weird.
Yeah, and
Um,
and and every criminal is like, yeah. Megamind is totally a hero now. It's always still a villain, even though we podcast live that he's a defender of Metropolis and defeated Titan.
but you see, they explained that these were all formerly released convicts, so they just didn't have access to public television.
Fuck off.
Yeah, yeah. Then this brings in the Fish Gang. So the Fish Gang, they're the only guys that can actually prove that Megamind is a hero,
And do you know
which
what they
is like
say?
bizarre.
Do you know what
Yeah,
they say? It was like they just broke out. We texted some old friends who just broke out of prison. How do you text people who just got into prison?
and you guys were close enough to the Fish Gang to have a group chat,
I don't believe you.
and then yeah, but then again, Megamind knew the Fish Gang too. So I don't know. This is a dumb movie.
Yeah,
Megamind uses this up. So basically, there's basically like he he needs to stop them from saying Megamind's true identity, which again really doesn't matter in the end of the day. Um, but he needs to separate the three of them, so that they don't snitch on him. So what he does is he takes the leader and he drags him into. So he does like a disco dance, battle kind of thing, uh, and then he drags the fish guy into the closet full of mannequins. That's like the one smart thing he did. Uh, like he has a bunch of mannequins around, so the guy can't tell which one is the real Megamind. And then Megamind shoots him in the back with a dehydrator. Um, but then the next part is really ridiculous, where he sees the remaining two guys, and they're like heading towards the microphone. So he doesn't know what to do. So Megamind looks up and he looks at the disco ball and he shoots the disco ball, and it fires two perfect lasers into the angles of those two guys, with one shot. And it's like, you're so lucky that disco ball did not spark the lasers every possible direction, turning everybody into uh, dehydrated cubes, including yourself. Um, so yeah, that's because that's not how light in a disco ball works.
Yeah.
Animation error.
Yeah. By
But
the way,
it's a stupid plan in the first place.
yeah, it
You're
is
better
stupid.
off shooting them individually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's a running gag was like, here, let's just have the dehydration cube just be kicked around in the party,
Yeah.
and it lands on ice, and I was like, yeah, that cube should be popped out already.
Yeah. Yeah, the dehydrated cube lands in a bowl of ice, which and then it's actually in the drink. So even if you're gonna say, oh, maybe it didn't work because of the ice, it gets encased in a liquid, like where the because the ice was in the cup, or unless he was drinking like a cup of ice, which is like that's weird. Um, I don't know.
Uh,
It's there has to be liquid in that cup for it to like explode, but
yeah,
no, it didn't happen.
even that was like, do you know how little water can just trigger the dehydration cube?
Yeah,
Spoilers for afterwards. A single drop of sweat activated freeze cube.
yeah, a drop of sweat. Yeah.
Not just a drop of sweat. A drop of sweat activating free cubes when the fucking when the what's it called when the pocket is closed.
Oh, right. The because of the fish gang. Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
I was like,
Um,
yeah,
oh my god.
yeah,
God, this looks disgusting, man.
and then yeah, next, yeah. So
How the fuck can you just put
yeah, this is just
how did you write the first film and you thought giving him a supervillain team in his past make any possible sense? I don't understand. That's why this shouldn't be canon.
I'm just saying. If people
Yeah.
just like, if you think that Kung Fu Panda 4 has any hope, was like because the old writers are back. Was like, do you guys watch Megamind too?
Yeah. That's just it happens, man. All your favorite franchises go up in flames. Um, yeah. So basically, it goes back to Chum. My only note for him is like he puts a dirty toilet plunger on the diner table, like that's normal, and the manager just doesn't care. But outside of that, it's like yeah, he's just spiffy off the place. Let's make it more like eatable place, all that. So yeah, nothing to Chum has like nothing to him. Uh, so yeah, back to Megamind. He still doesn't know what to do with the Doom Syndicate,
Yeah, he just rips everything
despite
apart.
using his dehydration gun a few times before. He's
Yeah,
afraid of
yeah,
making them mad because they will break him.
Yeah, let's just say that. Do you notice that the end, like this entire part is filled with criminals and stuff, and he just wake up completely fine, and no cops and they just gone back home easily. It was like, wait, where the fuck are the cops? Shouldn't they
Yeah,
just arrest those? Wait, what happened? I mean, if I'm a criminal and
unless the
I'm
cops are like, oh, maybe Megamind is having a party in his lair. That's not suspicious at all.
yeah, and also because they're
And it's like
criminals, like
my other thing too is like, God, the people are way too accepting. Like that was like the criticism of the first film. I would say is like the people are too accepting of Megamind being a superhero now, and it's like, and again, I could have been okay with that because in the moment they were clapping for him when he saved saved them from Titan. But then it's like this is 2 days later, man. It's like I don't know if people are this willing to accept that he's a superhero to the point where he's given the key to the city. They trust him completely. They devote their entire lives to Mega Man, despite everything that he's done before. It's like I don't know, but the people are just like not. They just don't act like people. They're like cardboard cutouts of like let's just support the guy. That just never really made sense to me. And it's like like a proper sequel could like kind of delve into that. It's like maybe it's being difficult of being a superhero. Maybe some people still don't really trust him because like yeah he saved us from Titan, but like what's gonna stop him from like is that all it's gonna be? He's gonna be a superhero and we just don't question it at all. It's like
yeah,
that's like a plot there that you can work with for a sequel. But no, we don't. Everybody just likes him. Uh, it's just disappointing
yeah.
because there's a lot of good ideas here for this kind
I'm
of
not.
franchise.
I mean, if they got delve into it in the show, it's like I'm not gonna watch a show with this shit. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's not what's gonna happen. That's not what happens. They're,
yeah.
they're just dumb plots,
I
basically.
mean, maybe I would if they make things like Megamind free or something, because in order for me to rip into that film as well.
Yeah, they did say that the writers were like, yeah, we're trying to make Megamind 3, but we're hoping this one will be in the film like for theaters and not on streaming service. Which, by the way, why the fuck is Megamind 2 on a streaming service a plan in the first place? The first film made money, um, so I don't know like why you guys didn't even try to push for like a theater release. Which, to be fair, this would be terrible if it's in theaters. I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but like I don't know, but maybe the whole desire of like let's do a TV show and the movie is like maybe you could have focused on one or the other, and then if you had more time to focus on the movie and no show, maybe a film could have been. I don't know, but like they still did both, so it's like it's still garbage either way.
Yeah, I'm thinking of any examples that can do both movies and shows at the same time. It's like and it's still stellar. I think because there has to be shows that have spin-off movies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way Breaking Bad and El Camino, but El Camino is not amazing. Like people are okay with it. Um, it's just like it's like it's kind of a sequel to Breaking Bad, but it's like it wraps up stuff for like some of the other characters, like especially for Aaron Paul's character Jesse. Um, yeah, so you got some stuff here and there about that, but like I wouldn't say like it's an amazing like from show to movie. Like clearly these are top tier. It's like the movie's okay for what it's meant to do. It's not meant to be like a movie like for a lot of like in depth lore or anything like that. So yeah, but that's like the only example I can think of. To be fair, there's not a
Yeah,
lot of opportunities where you get movies and shows. The only common one is the MCU
and Star
and
Wars.
Star
Yeah.
Wars. Um, Even with Andor, you can't really comment on Andor because it just feels detached to everything else. Um,
I guess Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, baby, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really can't say anything. It's like DC. Oh, yeah, the Suicide Squad with
Suicide Squad,
Peacemaker.
yeah. Which, yeah.
Uh,
Though I do feel like live action and animation can be a bit different, especially because animation you have to focus on the animated quality plus the story. Whereas like in live action, that's at least not as much of a hassle. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, but like for animation, I feel like you have more prone to deliberation because like you have to animate it in a way to be exactly like the way you're thinking of. So it's kind of hard to to like fib around or like kind of edit it around because you have to animate it all the way in some regard, and you can't just like delete it straight up. I mean, you can, but like I feel like with live action TV shows and stuff like that, it's going to be a bit different in terms of their dynamics. Um, so it's like this is like intentional garbage for
yeah.
Megamind too.
Mm,
And honestly, we could just get to that part.
yeah, let's just say that.
Megamind,
Yeah.
Megamind. So basically, they say phase two. He was supposed to send Metro City to the moon. Uh,
Fuck off.
yeah. So that's his. That was their plan. He was going to take control of Metro City, uh, and then he put rockets under the core of Metro City in 6 months. He said that he didn't finish this plan. So like Roxanne is like, okay, so you didn't finish the plan, so at least you're not going to do anything. And it's like, oh, what I meant is like I didn't finish the plan because I didn't like the color design of my rockets. I wanted them to be like a certain color, but like, yeah, that's what I meant when I wasn't. I actually did it. It's like, yeah, it's a stupid joke.
Yeah. What? Well, like if you remember to just if you have spent so much time to make the fucking rockets, like, how would you control your entire teammates?
Yeah, yeah, and so I
I
here's
feel,
my other thing too. It's like they're so okay with saying the plan to Roxanne too. It's like Roxanne used to be a world-renowned reporter for Metro Man. Clearly a good person until this movie. So I don't know, but like now it's like, oh, she's my evil bride now. It's like, oh, so that means like it's okay for me to talk about our super villain plan of bringing the city to the moon, and there's no red flags here at all. That's what, these guys are cartoons in terms of characters. So
yeah, and by the way, speaking of which, do you remember that if you let up like hundreds, okay, 100 criminals in your house and just like, I was like, wow, I'm so lucky that they didn't like break into any of other places in your house, including this area, or steal any items.
and honestly, like they didn't even look like criminals; they look like normal civilians.
Yeah.
Which is like, and then that's just bad animation as well. And
To
then
be
like
honest, yeah.
and
To
my
be
other thing
honest,
too is like with if they were normal civilians, like, oh wow, you're at a party where the super villains of the Doom Syndicate had it, and like you're not worried for your life. It's like that's weird.
yeah. Which is, to be honest, I think it's ADRs. Like, fuck. Oh, fuck! I didn't realize. Why would a bunch of normal humans be partying with villains? You see, they're all villains as well. Lol. I
Yeah,
wanna.
it's like where do you get 100 criminals? How do you get 100 criminals to break out of prison? Like that's a really bad prison if 100 of them are gone. So
uh,
what a stupid movie. Um, yeah. So basically, so he so he puts like the code into the rocket launch sequence, but he intentionally does the wrong code, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot the code." It's like then Lady Doppa's like, "No, you can't. That's impossible." I proved it. It's like he's been acting out of character this whole time. It's like that's literally the line. Uh, oh my god, you, you didn't react the way I wanted you to. Um,
I
yeah,
just. I was just stunned. Was like,
it's like, oh my god, like it's a very good, it's a good line in terms of like memeing for like my future videos or stuff like that. He's been acting out a character this since we got here. It's like, yeah,
Which is like,
we
it,
agree. You should,
yeah. I was like, at this point, I was like, I don't know. Are you gonna? Is this lamb shading or just like, oh, you just don't know that he's been acting out of character the entire time?
oh my god, yeah. So yeah, that's proof for them that like yeah, Megamind is a superhero. So they say like either you launch the city by the end of the day or we will destroy it, which is like classic villain trope of yeah, let's give them the whole day to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do it right now. It's like, do it, or I gotta fucking destroy the city.
Yeah. Megamind says that defeating Titan was easier because he was only one person. It's not it's not going to be easy to defeat a team of villains. And then Roxanne is like, so basically, you need to remember the power of friendship, though. So, like, let's bring back Chum so we can help. And, yeah,
I have an
even though
idea.
you
Yeah,
need to, right, you need to let him know that you do appreciate him, not as an associate, not as a colleague, but as a friend, which he did that in the first movie.
yeah. I mean, it's just even that was a stupid lampshade. It's like Titan is just one person. Low, low, low. I was like, what the fuck? He's clearly more powerful than all four of them combined. So what's the point?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And yeah, basically he goes to the diner, which is now Mr. Donut's shop. Uh he's basically like um so so there's like a lady groupie there guarding the door. He's like, I need to go see him. You can't see him, you're not on the guest list. And then the middle school girl shows up out of nowhere and she says that it's always the girls that have to come and fix the guy's messes. And Roxanne agrees with her. Which
Cringe.
stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she takes the weird guy's cockroach and say to the groupie lady that "Oh, you guys have a cockroach infestation. No, I don't. And then she puts the cockroach on her shoulder and records it on film, and she runs away. And yeah, Megamind gets inside the donut shop. What a stupid scene. Yeah, he tries to talk to Chum, but then he sees that Chum is doing really well with his new boss. His new boss is like, I used to, like, word for word, it's like, I used to think of you like as like just as some kind of colleague, but now I see you as like a real friend. And then they hug and all that stuff. It's like, oh my god. And then that makes Megamind sad. He's like, you're doing really well with the new boss. You don't need me anymore. And then he leaves. So yeah, they don't get Chum on the team. He's like, I'm gonna fight the Doom Syndicate by myself.
Which which was like, uh, okay. Wait, what?
You should have done it in the first place because they're garbage. Um,
Yeah. Which I was like, you need chop. I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, what is it? Yeah. I was like, I don't give a shit. You're just like, oh fuck. Yeah, that he has new boss now. I was like, no, they're gonna destroy the city. You have to get him involved. Actually, why isn't he involved? He should know that when they're wrecking the city. Trump should know that when Doom Syndicate is wrecking the city already.
See, that's the problem too. It's like the mayor knows that the Doom Syndicate was wrecking the city, and that wasn't on the news. Like nobody talked about it. Roxanne didn't talk about it. I guess like Roxanne is so depressed on not being a reporter anymore that she forgot like how to be a reporter. Like, did she retire off screen? Clearly, she did because apparently we'll get to what she becomes at the end of the movie. But yeah, just because Roxanne is gone, there's no reporters. That's very stupid. And you expect me to believe that Chum does not know what's going on in the city with the Doom Syndicate? Kind of weird. Um, yeah. So he goes back, and then he's still thinking about a plan on what to do against them, and then Behemoth is like, we should take a picture. And then it's like, picture, that's good. That's a good idea. And then it reminds him, his Doombot, his Mindbot, that we're gonna take a picture of you guys, and it's like that brings out the Porta prison. That thing from the first minute of the film, which against the fish gang. But because it's the same Mindbot that was shit in the first place, it turns out that so he also reveals that yeah, I was a superhero the whole time, and then Behemoth was like, "Oh, why didn't you just tell us that you were a superhero?" It's like because if I did, you would kill me, and it's like, and then yeah, then the Porter prison goes defective, and then yeah, now they're angry at him, and he's like, "Guys, I was kidding. It's just a prank, bro." God, Mine's dialogue is shit. And Will Ferrell is not
Yeah,
in this movie, or
yeah,
any of the
thank
main cast.
yeah. To be honest, thank God for them because they were. I mean, even I was like, if I saw this group, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And it's like, and there's
Which is
like,
funny
oh,
because he's now the villain for Despicable Me 4,
yep,
uh, which is ironic.
funny, yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, so then he starts sweating, and then his single bead of sweat lands on his pouch of dehydrated cubes, and that gets all three fish gangs out of the boxes. So
which
yeah.
was, by the way, why would Megamind think that his like his bot thing will work? Was like, if you know that you failed the first time, you didn't do anything to fix it.
Also, like, if you remember, the mind bots in the first film were very helpful in terms of like trying to do things. So it's like you could just bring in your mind bots to come and like distract them in some regard. I mean, like the whole presentation scene with Titan. Like a lot of the mind bots were like trying to pull the building that was like falling. Uh, when it started falling in the movie. So yeah, he only has like one or two mind bots in this. So I guess because poor animation, they can't possibly animate all his robots, his useful gadgets and tools that he used to use in the original movie. So we just have to ignore them, I guess,
Yeah, I
for this
mean,
fight.
and even that was like, wait, you have a portal gun. Use
You have a
that,
portal gun, just use it. He doesn't have that on him.
or
Uh,
D gun, or D gun. Just shoot them with a D gun.
yeah, yeah. So he gets on his flying chair. But Lady Doppler throws lightning bolts that strikes him, and then it seems like he's dead. But turns out he just landed in the water, which now that should have killed him. Uh,
What? By the way, when like Thunder Lee just shoot lightning, I was like, they never show that Megamind just jump off. They just like show him just shoot, get hit by it. So I was like, oh yeah, you're dead.
yeah, and then it's like fell into the water. Uh, yeah. So yeah, they're gonna continue the plan to send Metro City to the moon. And somehow Megamind ends up in the water instead of not being dead. So it turns out, the middle school girl apparently she put a tracker on Megamind earlier, and
Which
she's
was like,
following the, which is like, where did you get a tracker?
even that was like, wow, that is so creepy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm
Yes, but yeah, they go to the tracker. They find that Megamind is pretending to be a hobo in a street. He accepts that the Doom Syndicate has won. They're too powerful. He can't stop them,
which
even though
is
he didn't try at all. Uh,
bullshit, by the way. Like if
Very
you've seen the
bullshit.
first film or the second or the Button of Doom, there's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's scared, but it's like he will not be like, oh fuck, I gave up.
Yeah. And
I mean,
like
it's, yeah.
a lot of the stuff like repeats from the first film as well. He needs to get a pep talk. The middle school girl finally reveals something of her character. Like it's like she used to be a bad kid, but like after seeing Megamind be a supervillain, become a hero, she feel like she could be good as well. And like that's like an interesting idea of like of a protege kind of character, like a Robin, I guess, if you were to say to follow on the parody of superhero tropes. That could have been an interesting idea. It's like a bad kid being inspired by a villain becoming a superhero. Uh, I feel again that's like an interesting idea. It's like, but they do nothing with it. Um,
And by the
which
way,
I
and
guess
they
it could be in the show, but I refuse to watch the whole
also
show.
it takes also it's just 2 days. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's why the problem too. It's like, dude, even doing like 2 months later, I would accept that too. That would be a better idea. Why did you make it 2 days after?
And you're just and 2 days after she's the leader of the Megamind fan club, and even has more viewers than Roxanne. I was like, wow.
Like half a million, but you're right. You're right. Roxanne said she never had that many as half a million, which is crazy. Yeah, I I don't understand, man. She is like Jake Paul, I guess. That was a good point, Sty. Uh yeah. So basically he's getting that pep talk again. It's like you guys you can't like heroes can't do it by themselves. They need to accept that they need help. So he needs to accept their help. And then Chum shows up out of nowhere, and saying like Megamind is like he's my friend. I can't like I have to stick by you the whole time. So we don't even see him like quit his job or anything like that. Because I guess they didn't want to animate Chum so much in this movie. That's why they had to get rid of him quick. That's my only guess. Uh yeah, and then Megamind he finally says you're my sidekick, which makes Chum happy. And yeah, that arc is over. The arc from the first movie. So yeah. So yeah, basically the Doom Syndicate is trying to break down the door. So it's like so Chum is saying they'll have an hour to break that door down. So in the meantime, let's go to the everything store to get materials to fight against the Doom Syndicate.
By the
There's like
way, let's just say, do you know how they break down the door? Let's just say it.
they just keep so they kept hitting it with their superpowers. And then it's like, oh, it's hopeless. I can't possibly break it. And then 99 sits against the door, and then it falls over. That's how they broke the door.
But was like, wait, why the fuck is the weather girl not showing lightning at it?
My only comment could be like it could reflect off the titanium door, but it would have been nice to at least try. But yeah, but hmm, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. However, um, yeah, so basically they get like a bunch of like random bullshit. A leaf blower, a bunch of tennis balls. Um, those tennis balls are going to be super useful, by the way, which is crazy to say. Um,
I mean, I have a better idea. Buy a gun.
Heroes don't do that.
I mean, hey, Mega Man, do you remember you have a gun called D gun? A portal rocket launcher
Yeah.
and a space laser from life.
Oh man. So, so basically, Chum has to go into the ducts to deal with the booby traps inside. Chum is an idiot at times. He forgets that there's booby traps in there. Um, So yeah, so basically it gets to the point where he has to eject his fish head out before getting killed. He tries to stop the fish gang. He tries to press the button, but because the fish gang showed up and he's drying out, he can't really do anything. The fish gang it was the super effective thing of where the fish gang picks him up, and that's what gets him to fight them and knock them out, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
the fish gang were defeated by a fish.
By the way, I have a really interesting. Do you remember the shopping sequence? It's like, jeez. I was really looking at it. It's like, well, I remember there's a really dumb line that breaks his character again,
Yeah,
which is
I
like after, yeah,
I lost brain cells.
yeah. I was like, which is like, before that, Roxanne just pays the bills. He said something like, wait, what the fuck is that?
Oh yeah, you can put it on my tab. Um, I guess she has enough money for all that. Crazy.
Yeah, and even that was like, there's like, it's a tab. It's like I'm just finding where's the line? It's like it's even worse.
I think Megamind was gonna do something. He was gonna do an evil thing, and then she's like, no, like this, like pay. It's like, oh, you mean paying her? Yeah, that's more evil than what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
we'll
it
just
was like what wall? Huh?
yeah,
It was like what? I thought you're a hero now. Why would you say that?
yeah. That's just a joke on the on monetary system, inflation and stuff like that. It's very creative. Yeah, so the fish gang get knocked out by a fish. Megamind and Roxanne, they distract the Doom Syndicate by shooting them with tennis balls.
And by
Uh,
yeah. By the way, do you guys realize that this is the only thing that actually bought that is actually used as a weapon to fight against the Doom Syndicate?
yeah, it's like, dude, like those tennis balls were going crazy. Like they couldn't do anything. They couldn't stop them at all with all their superpowers. They could not stop a bunch of getting hit by a bunch of tennis balls. So
Yeah.
yeah, like literally they once the tennis ball machine was like done, that's when they could start fighting Megamind and Roxanne. Bro, it's oh my god.
I was like, I'm not convinced a bunch of cops can't just stop it with real guns.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Megamind and Roxanne, yeah, despite all of them having superpowers, they cannot stop them. The force field is like placed around the city while the countdown is going from 10. Um, and then, but they weren't able to get it in time because Chum is only a fish head, so he doesn't have the strength to like pull down the lever. To so yeah, the city goes up in the air. So they basically a force field is placed around the city in a dome shape, and then all the rocket boosters on the bottom of the city, which I still don't know how he did that. Like, how did you go underground and put rocket propellers on parts of the city I, in
I
6 months? Um,
I mean, just like did the city move some shows? Like I was like, I don't think that's how city works.
yeah, yeah. And it's like perfectly carved under this city. Like there's perfect place to like work under, like and put machinery tech underneath. I don't understand, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just like this Megamind is like, oh no, we haven't finished the engines yet. I was like, yeah, just keep going. That I was like, yeah, I need several more years to finish it.
he can't lie. That's the problem, which is stupid.
Wait, he lied about forgetting his password.
Yeah, that's just don't think about it. Um, yeah. So the force field is going up in the air. Megamind and Roxanne split up. Roxanne talks to the mayor. It's like, what are you gonna do? And the mayor is like, I don't know what to do in this situation. It's like you're the mayor. You have to know what to do. It's like, bro, the city is going up in the air. What is he supposed to do? And it's like, okay, so she means like calm the people down, like public, which is like, I guess, but it's like at the same time, it's like you're asking him to do like a solution to a problem that he can't solve at all, which is the city is going up in the air. It's a stupid scene. And then she's like, "It's your responsibility to know how to do this, like how to react in the situation." And then the mayor runs away, which then Roxanne makes a plan with the people on how to keep everybody calm. And then she needs a fire truck because that will be important for later. Yeah,
Fire
and then
truck.
yeah,
Yep.
the fire truck.
Uh, do you realize that it's like they just didn't explain? Was like, wait, why do you want the city to be on the moon again? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was their ingenious supervillain plan, which is like, yeah, it's definitely cartoony supervillain plan. What do you even gain with putting the city on the moon, anyways?
How do you get food, or water, or air?
Yeah, it's in a force field, so that solves everything. Also, Megamind had force field tech that could be useful for other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, so Chum hits the button to hit to make the ship go down. I mean, to make the city go back down to Earth, but because so this is the weird part. He presses it, but then like they're already out in space. So it's like they should be at a point where they can't go right back down to Earth. Like that's not how gravity works. Um, they should be stuck in space at that point. But no, they start falling back down to Earth, and it's going super fast. Which again, the gravity physics doesn't work there either because like at the speed they're going down towards the Earth, none of the people should still be walking around the city like as if nothing is wrong. They should be probably like be floating in the air with how fast they're going down, down back to Earth, and yeah, but don't.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
overthinking it.
Remember Age of Ultron? They just ripped straight from that thing. Wow.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Age of Ultron.
By the way, do you remember the ways that Megamind defeat all 4 villains? Yeah, we just kind of forgot about them.
No, we're here right now.
Yeah.
So first, Megamind sends a parakeet to Chum to like to get him water because he's drying out. Which the whole arc in this film was like, he wants a parakeet, but I didn't want to give it to him because they're shit birds. So that happens. Now it's like the fight. Megamind is Megamind is like, so the Doom Syndicate find Megamind and they try to kill him. But Megamind uses their rivalry against him by saying, according to I'm going to use our knowledge from villain law. The former leader has to be killed by the new leader. So the Doom Syndicate would need to figure out who is the true leader in order for that person to kill him. Which is like, again, bogus, but okay, that's using his brain. But so 3 of them try to argue about who is the true leader, but then Behemoth is like, can't we just settle our differences and kill them together? Which is Behemoth is meant to be the stupid character, but he said some pretty smart things in this movie, which is ironic.
Mm-hmm.
The Megamind runs away because like he clearly because they didn't fall for his trick. He runs away. He tries to. So first off, I want to keep reminding you he has a disguise watch. So he keeps forgetting that he could disguise himself so that uh, they can't find him. So yeah, they keep forgetting that.
Yep. Okay. Just saying. I know that Megamind lost his D gun because the Doom Syndicate knocked it out of his hand, which was like, wait, why don't you just shoot them earlier? It was like, fuck you.
Yeah, that'd be too mean, I guess. Even though he did it before.
Uh,
Um, yeah, he. So basically, they end up in a construction site. Then they decide to split up, which is like I don't really know why you thought that was a great idea, splitting yourselves up to find him, I guess. But that was just the excuse for him to, essentially find everybody. So what he does, he 99 comes to Megamind's direction, but Megamind puts his disguise tech on 99 so that he looks like Megamind. So while 99 is walking around looking like Megamind, uh, Pierre Pierre Pressure, stupid name. He uses his hypnosis powers to basically incapacitate Nutty Knight. Then Megamind puts Pierre Pressure under cement. So yeah,
Oh.
he's covered in cement now. So Pierre Pressure is like out of commission. Now there's 3 left. Then Lady Doppler flies in the air to shoot lightning bolts, and then Megamind finds a rope and like connects it to her leg, and then she throws a lightning bolt which hits the metal beam, and the metal beam carries electricity to her rope and it shocks her.
Which was like, wait,
Which is,
that.
the way she died is like not died, but like the way she falls is like really silly animation as well. So she just
Oh.
flops over.
By the way, it was like, that's not how rope works. Rope is not a conductor.
Yeah, that too.
It's like, and then it's like, of course, the rope won't come wrap around his legs. I didn't mention the fact that how did 99 notice he got his disguise watch put onto his hand, his arm.
He's just like looking around, head up. But then it's like I guess it also disguises the voice too. So it's like,
Yeah.
so he should probably realize he sounds like Megamind.
And also the fact that it's like, I don't even know what to say about this shit. It's like, it's it's like the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, and again, Megamind had that disguise generator the entire time, and he could have just used it just to go away and make some plans while they can't find him because he doesn't look like Megamind. Unless you want to tell me that they can see through his disguise tech, but you didn't introduce that for me to buy that. Yeah, so and then Behemoth shows up. She's like, I'm gonna enjoy this. Why don't you look over there? It's like, that's not gonna work. That's the oldest trick in the book. And then as he says that, he gets hit by a fire truck, turned into gravel. Which is brutal as fuck. But like,
It's like, but do you guys remember in the when his introduction, he literally turns into small rocks and just climb through air fans?
mm-hmm.
Why do you think that would work?
Yeah, that too. Behemoth can like turn into gravel, sand, and then reform back into his shape. So it's like, yeah, just hitting him into a wall doesn't really do anything.
And not to mention, I was like, how can he not hear the truck coming? I was like, wait, what? And he does not.
It's more like that's the oldest trick in the book. You can't trick me. Because the stupid character trope. Yeah, so they go back to the base where Charm is still trying to pull the lever down because he's only a fish head, so he doesn't have the strength to pull it down. So the team goes over there, and it's like we could do this. We have to do it together. So they all like pull down the lever, um, just in time before it crashes into the earth, like in Civil, like in Age of Ultron, as you said. Yeah, and then so they managed to bring the city back down to earth. Uh, and yeah, the Doom Syndicate is sent to prison. Even though I felt like all their thing. Oh right, before that, 99 comes out of his disguise, and then he tries to use his sword to kill a Megamind, but the middle school girl, she's like, it's either a paperweight or a flash grenade, and then she throws the grenade at 99, and he bursts. It's a flash grenade, so he bursts like into nothingness, which is like, how did that not kill? How does that not kill him? Uh,
Uh,
and it's like, also he doesn't really make sense of that aspect too. It's like light is his weakness, so it's like, so I guess sunlight is like jack shit. I guess.
well, yeah. It's like, well, it's like I don't even know what to say. It was like, and the girl just like appear out of nowhere. It's like, oh, actually, I can do this with a flash grenade. It was like, just throw the flash grenade.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
hit it. You don't have to hit it with a bat, you dumbass.
Right. And then yeah, so they're sent to prison. The mayor comes to the lair and he's like, "All right, you guys are insane. You put the city in the wrong direction." It's like, so, and then the way it looks is like so silly because like apparently they cut a hole into the ocean, and then that ocean hole went in is like now inside the city. Yet it's not flooding the city. Uh, I don't know if you noticed that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
It's
I
terrible
was.
animation. You should have just cut a hole in the city and avoid cutting the water. I don't know why you added the water into the cut. Now it makes no sense. It
Yeah,
should flood the city now. But yeah, ignore that. Uh,
yeah. I don't even know what to say. It's
and then
like,
Roxanne criticizes the mayor for blaming them because they were trying to save the city while he was running away like a baby, and not doing his job. Which again, how the fuck could he do anything? Uh,
yeah,
But yeah, it's like if you think it's so easy, why don't you be mayor? It's like, yeah, I will. It's like, and then yeah, she becomes mayor.
was like that's not how it works. That you need elections, stuff like that.
But you see, they have a one measly election later, uh, time skip, which is like kind of bizarre because like that should probably take like a few months, and then it's like, and then they're talking like as if like, oh, I finally learned the lesson of friendship and like togetherness. Like, I mean, he literally says, Megamind literally says like, I finally learned the difference between being a villain and a hero is that villains look out for themselves, and heroes need to look out for the others, like for people, which is like you learned this in the first movie, man.
Yep.
And yeah, and just as fitting, this movie ends with a shit joke, where the robot parakeet like shits on his finger. Yeah,
Ah,
that's how it ends. And then it's like the end,
post
not
credit.
the end. And then
Yep.
there's a credit scene. The guys are in prison. They're like, I don't know what to do. We kind of suck. We're ass.
And they got thrown into the normal ass prison again. I was like, what?
Yeah, they throw them right back to the normal prison. Makes no sense. And then there's this they have this MCU kind of post credit scene where like Makia villain shit name. It's like a floating brain, like Krang or something. He's made in the Doom Syndicate to rue the day for Megamind, turning into good, and he becomes their new leader. And then that's like set up for the goddamn Megamind Rules show. Yeah. Um, that's the film. And then yeah, Megamind Rules is the sequel TV show set after this movie. And yeah,
I'm not watching this shit. I said it multiple times. I'm gonna say it again. No.
what a fucking garbage movie.
and no, and everyone's like, yeah, it's shit. It's like I'm surprised they actually see it this time.
Bro, it had like a 0.4 Metacritic score.
Wow. Hey,
0.4. It had 0% Rotten Tomatoes for a while now. I haven't seen one person say anything positive about this movie. The only concept that I like, or the only concept that I could find interesting if it was in a better movie, is like what if a bad kid looked up to Megamind because he became a good guy? Like that could be an interesting concept. It's like a parody off of Robin in some way. Or you could do like the general basic idea of like being a superhero is not that easy. How try going about it like what Metro Man used to do. And it's like you got to be yourself, which again the short film already did that. Again, I don't know why they decided to make this 2 days after the first movie. That just makes it even more problems in terms of like how character assassinated everybody is.
and world building generally.
World building in general, yeah. But yeah, that's Megamind.
Probably the worst movie I've seen this year. Well, 2024 so far.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I could see this lasting for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Madam Web, but like I think Madam Web is better.
Oh yeah, yeah. At least Madame Web like doesn't have a previous film to assassinate.
That's how
Um,
low the bar is.
yeah, and I don't know, man. It's like we're just getting at a point where it's just not worth bringing back sequels. Sometimes, like this is like almost this is pretty much an equivalent to like the Disney direct to DVD sequels for a lot of their princess movies and stuff. Where it's like it goes straight to streaming after the 2010 theatrical release. It's like that's that's kind of alarming. Then it just comes out of nowhere. We get the trailer say, "Oh, Mega Man 2 is coming out. By the way, it's coming out in 2 weeks. You should check it out."
And do you
So
know that? And
I,
every comment is like, you have the audacity to put "You're welcome."
you're welcome. Yes, it's in that trailer voice too. It's like so it makes it even more cringe. Um, yeah, it's your welcome. Bro, it's like, and then it comes to that point. It's like, man, maybe the Megamind memes were not worth it. It's making that cult on the internet saying we need a Megamind sequel, and like, you want a Megamind sequel? We'll give you one. This is not what we want. Um,
I mean, and people was like, and no one complains about Despicable Me too. By the way, the Despicable Me franchise, because you know the difference between Despicable Me and Megamind. Okay, let's just ignore the concept. Let's just ignore the quality. Despicable Me actually has a world of supervillains. They established it in the first movie,
yeah,
so you have a lot of potential to do whatever the fuck they want with it. Megamind is just contained to one supervillain and one superhero.
yeah. And then it's like again, if you want to say that the villains were hiding because Metro Man was too powerful and only Megamind was the only one brave enough to like stand up against him, okay, I it's kind of hard to buy that, but like, I mean, if that's what you want to say, okay, I guess. They have to be like really, really weak though. Which I guess the Fish Gang was kind of weak, but then you got like the Doom Syndicate. It's like you got the Doom Syndicate, who all have superpowers, yet yet like nobody could like try to go up against Metro Man. Like really,
Yeah,
that's like a bizarre concept. And then it's like it's just worse too. It's because like the previous film clearly establishes there is one superhero, one supervillain. So
yeah.
yeah, it's really hard to justify that. And then yeah, it's like, and then you just have to ruin the friendship between Chum and Megamind by saying that he actually had like a friend group. By the way, yeah, he led this Doom Syndicate team. He went to villain school to learn how to be a supervillain. instead of like learning on his own and being his own man and doing his own mishmash of how he became Megamind. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't know, man. It's
and
just
there's a, yeah, just it's like, and the Roxanne Chalmers also destroyed as a character. It's like, hmm.
Roxanne is having an existential crisis after 2 days of reporting on Megamind.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
And Chalmers like, yeah, let's just abandon my friend. I was like, no, you won't do that, even if he hates you.
Yeah. Once again, Megamind 2 sucks. And it's just another example of a franchise that goes up in flames.
And remember, Kung Fu Panda 4 is this month.
Yeah, I think it should be out this week if I'm not mistaken, but it's definitely
I,
this month.
yeah, I should just Google it. Just hold on a sec. Kung Fu. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. Let's see. The release date is gonna be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, yeah. I knew it was this week because the red carpet was last week.
Oh my god. 85
Yeah,
million budget.
yeah. The we'll see. I mean, some of the reviews aren't super positive, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I just realized like the budget of Kung Fu Panda 4 is 85 million. Do you know how much Kung Fu Panda 3 cost?
What's up?
145 million.
Where the hell did that money go?
Yeah, I was like, wait, why do you give less money for Kung Fu Panda 4?
Uh-oh. I guess like reusing assets they could use for like gold character designs now that we know that Tai Lung and Sheng are all your previous villains are there. So
Yeah,
oh, we don't need to reanimate these. We could just use our old assets. Uh, nostalgia bait.
yeah.
But that's a topic for another day.
Mm.
Um. So yeah, what your final thoughts on Megamind 2?
To be honest, I just think that the show it's Megamind 2. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really. It's not like the first movie. It's like, oh, I think it's good. It was like, but it's like I'm not gonna. It's like, oh my god, I'm begging for a sequel or something. So it's like, I think it ended very well. It's like, unlike, I mean, people complain like, why did Despicable Me has franchise but Megamind doesn't have? It's like, I mean, do you know that
Megamind
Despicable?
relies on being a parody.
Yeah,
Not like entirely, but like it does have like a parody element to it. Whereas like Despicable Me has more room for a franchise potential because they didn't limit themselves to being a parody or
yeah,
like of that sort. So it's like, which is like, it's not the fault of Megamind. I think Megamind could work very well as a franchise if they wanted to commit to that idea. Though the problem with a lot of parody related content is like the difficult part is sometimes parodies gets stale, or it's like, or you get something like The Boys,
yeah.
which yeah.
Yeah, and also the fact that Despicable Me actually has like, it's actually a perfect example of like, it's like say what you want, but it's like it's a perfect example of like you focus on the character in a world that you actually believe that there's actually superheroes, supervillains actually lived in.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, it's what James Gunn was like. Well, do you know what James Gunn said about Superman? Not no longer Superman Legacy. It was like, oh, I want this world to be lived in. I was like, yeah, just look at Despicable Me. Just look at that.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I was like, they don't even do much. It's like they don't even like have a lot of villains. Just like, here's a super villain bank. Here's actually just other villains stealing the pyramids worldwide. So and people just knows that this is actually a thing.
yeah. And then some villains are better than others, but like that doesn't discount like that there's like a league of them somewhere or something like that.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
true.
yeah, that's a lot of. It's like what people. I think it's like underappreciated aspect of Despicable Me is like they actually just set a really good foundation for when if they want to explore a franchise.
Yeah,
It was like, They don't even have a focus on Gru. It was like even that was like it would still work. It's just like here's another character from another world. That's what they did for Minion. It's not. I don't. I mean, it's like I don't remember the quality of that movie, but it's like, yeah, there's more you can do with those.
Right.
Yeah, that's my fault of like. If you want a Despicable Me and Megamind comparison, I don't remember the quality of both of them well enough. I'll rewatch. I may rewatch them. Was like,
All right. I need to do something for 1 second. Can you could just keep talking about Despicable Me. All right.
yeah, it's like, sure. So yeah, like don't ask me. It was like if you would just ask me, it was like, what is the quality of Despicable Me and Megamind? It's like I don't remember, but it's like, yeah, it's similar idea. Villain gone good. It's like then there's something happens, they turn, yeah, that changes their mind, which is like very simple. I mean, it's basically that's the only similarity. But it's like if you really look into it, there's different aspects that are different. As like when it comes to world, the storytelling, like how they reach to that point, stuff like that. It's like I don't know. It's like I will rewatch those. It's like I didn't see like the Rise of Gru or something. It's like that's what I'd say. How do I say that? It's like Megamind 2, if you ask me, it was like if it's like gonna be worse than any single Despicable Me movies. Yeah, it is. Every single one of them, from what I've seen. That would be worse than Rise of. I haven't seen the Rise of Gru yet, but that was gotta be better than the Rise of Gru.
Yeah, that's a kind of the thing with prequels and all that.
Yeah, it's like Despicable Me, the Rise of. Did you actually? How much did the Rise of Gru made? Um, oh fuck! What 946 million?
God damn.
What the fuck? I didn't. That's way more than I expected.
That's the budget, or that's how much money it got in the box
Box
office?
office.
Oh, okay. Still crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
well,
then I was like, whoa, and the budget is 100 million at best.
yeah. The Illumination got that money.
Yeah,
Despicable Me is that milk in the franchise.
but it's like I just didn't expect that. I was like, yeah, how much are they gonna make? I was like 940 million. I was like, oh, somehow.
Yeah.
And the Minion movie got 1.159 billion.
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Budget
will
is
say
40.
though, like
Yeah,
with DreamWorks, like going back to them, I won't say like it's like proof that they're a shit franchise because like you still got at least Puss in Boots 2 out of them, so
yeah,
there's definitely some competence in the studio, but yeah, I mean, breaking down Megamind is just like, man, that's kind of deep, man.
yeah. I was like
We
that.
know Shrek 5 is coming out soon for some reason.
Kung Fu Panda 2 Kung Fu Panda for tomorrow. I mean, at least UK time tomorrow.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, um,
Yeah,
hopefully, Puss in Boots 3 is good if they get to that.
I mean, I don't think they would gonna touch it anymore.
Maybe not, but yeah. All right, Unity. Say goodbye to the people.
See ya, and good luck with Kung Fu Panda 4 if anyone's gonna cover that. Because I don't think I'm gonna I don't think I'm gonna watch it in theaters. I mean, if I do, it's like someone's gonna pay it for me.
Yeah, we're probably gonna talk about the Oscars since that's coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm still
Um,
yeah, true. I'm still trying to finish all of them, except Anatomy of the Fall is not on streaming.
yeah. So yeah, I It's just been a busy week. Um, I'm attending my first Comic Con this Sunday. I'll talk about it briefly when on the pod next time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm still trying to make some videos here and there. So be on the lookout for those. And we are going to talk about the Oscars next up. So keep it up for that. Also, remember we do have another channel, another Reviews Corp podcast, where we store everything uh, on that channel after the pod on this channel here. All the descriptions are down below. We have a Spotify of the same name. It's also in the description down below. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.